Yes.
Okay, cool. Should I share my screen right now, or I can close this one?
Yes, you can close this one for the moment. So once we invited you, you can share the screen and go.
Okay, cool.
Can somebody put on this chat when the stream is ready? Ahmadai, Chamadai, are you there?
Yes. You mean which chat box?
Yeah, this chat, yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Should I start? This is a test.
Yes. Wait for a minute. Let me check the YouTube and confirm whether it is going live or not. Okay, we are on live. You can start, sir.
All right, perfect. Hello, good evening, everyone. Today we're here to discuss, or rather get a professional opinion on how to build web apps with Firebase. And the speaker we have today is Vrijraj Singh. Vrijraj Singh's credentials speak for himself. He's a Google developer expert for web technologies and Firebase, and he's also a community organizer and web developer. We couldn't have gotten a better, more qualified person to actually speak on this matter in comparison to actually Vrijraj Singh. So without further ado, not take the limelight from you, I now pass over the stage to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Sahas and Amit, for inviting me. Let me share my screen. Okay, I hope my screen is visible.
Yep, it is.
Yeah. So hello everyone. My name is Vrijraj and I'm Google developer expert for web technology and Firebase, and also I'm leading Chili Jalandhar community in India. And today in this talk, I'm going to talk about Firebase, how we can use Firebase for building scalable web applications. So let's get started. So before moving to the sessions, as you know, like my name is Vrijraj and I work on PWA, Firebase, AMP, Google Cloud Platform or Google Cloud Platform. And also I'm running a YouTube channel named is Tech for Mint, where I'm providing various web developers technologies, video tutorial. In this workshop, or maybe we can say sessions, I'll talk about 3 points. First one is web fundamental, then we'll talk about the Firebase part, like how we can create a scalable web application with the help of Firebase. And the third, we will create a simple application with the help of Firebase. So like if I jump to the directly to the web is a informational system where we can share the documents or maybe media file, audio file, text file, or any other file with the help of network. So this is an example of web. And in web, we have 3 things. First one is website. So website is a collection of web page. Web page consists of maybe media file, audio file, HTML code, CSS code, or JavaScript code. Website have their specific entry page, which is also called as home page of your website, and each website have their specific entry name, or the name of your website is called as DNS or website name. So in the market, we have a lot of websites, let's say Twitter, Facebook, Google, Microsoft. There are a lot of websites you can check out. And you can create a website with the help of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, where with the help of HTML, you can create a structure of your web page. And if you want to design your web page, you can use CSS. And if you want to add some interactive element, or maybe you want to add some like we want to perform some actions on the button, so you can use JavaScript. And the second one part is browser. So we use browser for checking the web page, like web browser, or browser is a software where we can access our web page from the server or maybe local machine. And in the market, we have a lot of browsers like Chrome, Mozilla, Safari, Opera, and each browser have their specific rendering engine that will render your HTML, CSS, or JavaScript code into the graphical user interface part, and then you will be able to see the website. And the third one is server. So we use server for serving a web page over the network. Means like you can create a website with the help of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And you can check your website with the help of browser. And if you want to make your website that will be accessible from n number of locations or maybe n number of devices, that means you need a server. Server is just like as a computer where you can upload your HTML, CSS, JavaScript file, or maybe media file at any locations, and you have a internet and you can access these files over the internet. So this is an example for the server. So server is basically a computer which is designed to process the request and deliver a data to the computer or maybe to the browser end. And in the market, we have three types of server. First one is web server. We use web server for serving a web page over the network. So for example, if you are accessing a website, let's say twitter.com, so you are using web server. So inside web server, you need to work on HTTP protocol, hypertext transfer protocol. And the second one is email server. Whenever you are sending or receiving a mail over the network, so we have to work on email server. So email server basically work with basically two protocol, SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, and the second one is POP, Post Office Protocol. And the third, we have a file server. So we use file server for serving a web file over the network, or maybe moving a file from one computer to the another computer with the help of network. You can use file server. So basically, if you are uploading or downloading a file over the network, so there will be a file server, and here you need to use FTP protocol. So this is a basic fundamental about the web technologies. Like we can create a website with the help of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and then we can check our website with the help of browser. Each browser have their specific rendering engine that will render your HTML, CSS, JavaScript code into the GUI part, and then you will be able to see your website. And if you want to make your website like more visibility or availability, so you need a server. So where you can upload your HTML, CSS, JavaScript code, or maybe media file over the computer, and that computer will be connected through the network, and with the help of IP, you can access these websites. You can start your career with the help of as a three basically path. First one is front end development, or second one is back end development, and the third one is full stack development. So like if you are a web developer and you want to start your journey as a front end developer, so basically front end engineer have a data in terms of JavaScript object or maybe a JSON file. So you have a data, you need to create a UI UX user interface with the help of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So basically front end developer has a data, and that they will convert that data into the GUI part with the help of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And here we have a frameworks and a libraries. For example, you can use Angular as a framework, or you can use Vue.js, or a library you can use React. And the second one is backend development. So here, as a backend engineer, you have to work on server part. You have to write a custom business logic, or maybe you have to create a REST APIs with the help of maybe Node.js. You can use any language, Node.js, Django, Ruby, or Golang. It's totally up to you. And the third one is full stack development, which is a combination of front end development plus back end development, and plus you need additional knowledge of cloud related things, or maybe networking related concepts. So this is a feeling about the web developer, like you have a knowledge about how we can create a website, how we can start our journey in a web technology. So this is a kind of feeling like we can earn a lot of money from this particular field. So let's design, or maybe let's create, like in an engineering life, or maybe you are a corporate. So you have an idea, like let's say I wanted to create something, or maybe I wanted to build something, a product may be related to Android applications, or maybe iOS applications, or maybe it may be related to web applications. So this is a sometime usually we have a feeling about the confusion about how we can start, how what are the technologies we can use. Like let's say I want to build a web solutions. So what type of technologies we can use as a front end development, or what type of technologies technical stack we can use in the back end. Like we can use MongoDB or SQL database, or maybe you can use any security related stuffs. So this is a lot of challenge for the developers first step. And the second step, like once you finalize the technical stack, you need to write a lot of amount of code. This is the most challenging task for the developers. And then there might be issue related to security, or maybe code implementations, or managing a database, or making it easy to accessible all the user. Of challenges, like if you are planning to create applications from zero, so you have to consider a lot of use cases. So then there is a unified solutions that you can use to improve the user experience and to solve all of these problems with the help of Firebase. So that's why Firebase came into the picture. So Firebase is a unified platform. So like if I talk about as a front-end development point of view, so Firebase is providing a backend as a services. Like if you want to use database, so you can use Firebase as a database. If you want to host your solutions or maybe your website, you can use Firebase. You don't need to write your business logic as a backend part. Firebase has a lot of services. They are providing a lot of services as a backend. You just need to focus on the front end part. Everything will take care of by the Google itself. So Firebase is a development platform that provides developer with a lot of tools and services to build high quality, large scalable web applications, or maybe Android applications, iOS applications. It's totally up to you. And with the help of Firebase, you can grow your user base and you can earn more benefit in terms of users. One of the best thing about Firebase, you don't need to manage the infrastructure like managing the database, security part, or what type of users are coming into my platform for the security related stuff. So Firebase is providing a lot of services. You just need to focus on the front end part and you can use backend as a services. And Firebase has a mission to help the developers succeed. So one of the best thing about Firebase, you can use Firebase like if you are working on mobile application development platform, let's say iOS, Android, or maybe cross application development, let's say Flutter, Ionic, Cordova, you can use Firebase. And as a web developer, you can use Firebase. Firebase is providing a lot of services. Or if you're working on C++, you can use Firebase. And the last one, like if you're working on game development platform, let's say Unity, you can also use Firebase. So as I mentioned, Firebase is divided. Firebase is providing a lot of services. So Firebase is divided into the three main categories of tools with specific goals. First one is build better applications, and the second one is improve your app quality, and the third one is grow and engage your user. So if I talk about building better applications, so there are a lot of services you can use. Like you just need to focus on the front end part. Like if I talk about as a web development, so we just need to focus on the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript part, and we need to use that services. No need to focus on the writing or business logic with the help of REST APIs or maybe Node.js managing the database. So first categories is build better applications. So it helps you to build better application by making complex coding process easier. Means they are providing a set of functionalities, set of functions. You just need to use that functions, and that's it. Like for example, Firebase is providing authentication as a service. So like if you want to authenticate your user with the help of Google account, so there will be a functions auth sign in with pop-up, and that's it. You just need to use this function. No need to like earlier, like as a if I want to add a functionality related to sign in with Google, so we need to write a lot of amount of code related to security or managing the infrastructure. But if you are using Firebase, so they are providing a set of functions. You just need to use that functions. And the second one part is like we have authentications, hosting, cloud functions, machine learning, cloud Firestore, real-time database, cloud storage. These all are the services you can use for building better application with the help of Firebase. And once your application is ready, maybe Android applications or iOS or maybe web applications, now you can improve your app quality with the help of these services like Crash Analytics. Here you will get the crash report, real-time crash report, and the second one is performance monitoring. So here you can get the performance monitoring report. Let's say we have created a website having a one page about login screen. So here we can get the performance report, like for the login screen, user need to wait for a 2 second for the login screen. So you can improve that performance things. And the third one, we have a test lab, like if you are working on mobile application development. So here we can check our APK or maybe iOS applications with the help of test labs. And then we have app distributions, like you can distribute your applications for the testing purpose to the n number of users. Maybe you can create a user A group or you can create a user B group. So that's all you can create, or you can improve your app quality with the help of these services. And the third one is grow and engage your user. Like you can create applications, scalable application with the help of build better applications as a services, or you can improve the applications with the help of improve your app quality services. And the third one is grow and engage your user. So once your applications is ready, so you can get the analytics report with the help of Firebase Analytics, or you can get the you can send a push notification with the help of Firebase Cloud Messaging, or you can use in-app messaging for sending a custom messages to the user, or you can use A/B testing, or you can use dynamic links. So as you can see, there are almost 25 plus different services within a Firebase. Now I'll talk about like as a web developer, we can use these services. So there are few services we can use in web technologies. So first we can use, we can build web application with the help of Firebase. So we can use Firebase Authentications, or we can use Firebase Cloud Firestore as a database, or you can also use Firebase real-time database. And then we have a cloud storage, hosting, functions, extension, and cloud messaging. So I'll talk about each thing one by one. So first one is authentications. Like whenever you are creating a website and you wanted to add a functionality related to authentications, like you can create a web page having a login screen or sign up page. And here you need to write your custom business logic. You can check the email ID and the password in the database, whether the user is exist or not. So you need to write this logic. But if you are working on Firebase Authentications, so they are providing a set of functions. You just need to use that functions or modules, and that's it. So Firebase Authentications is one of the best thing about the Firebase, where you can authenticate your user with the help of Firebase Authentications. And Firebase Authentication work with n number of different third-party service provider. For example, you can add in your web applications like login with Facebook, login with Google, login with Twitter, GitHub, or custom email and password, or even you can authenticate your user with the help of mobile number. So once the user will be authenticated with the help of these services, you will get the user ID. So you can use that user ID to access within services in Firebase. Example, like how we can create a user, like this is a logic for the sign up page. Like you can create an account of the user. So in JavaScript, we can create a variable with the help of let keyword. So here we have defined two variable, email and password, and that's it. And we are using Firebase. So first we need to write Firebase. Inside Firebase, we are using authentications. So that's why we have to use this method, auth method. And inside auth method, we need to, we want to create a user with the email and password. So we have a function, create user and email and password. Here you need to pass two things like email ID and password, and that's it. This is a simple logic for sign up. No need to write your custom business logic for like REST APIs or something else. So this will work as a JavaScript promises, so you can handle with the help of then and catch block. So here we have example for create account with email and password. So here similarly you can authenticate your user with the help of Google account, Twitter account, Facebook account, or you can user with the help of mobile number verifications. And the second one is like Cloud Firestore. Cloud Firestore is a database tools that allows you to you can store your data. This is an example of database. So here you can store your data. So data can be stored between the user and the devices at global scales. And this is a NoSQL database, and you can perform a number of queries. You can directly access the data. And one most important things about Cloud Firestore is it will automatically scale your applications. Like initially you have defined 5 GB for the storage, and if the data is increased, so it will automatically scale your applications or database. So this is a NoSQL database, and you can easily run your queries in Cloud Firestore. And this is a serverless architecture. You just need to write a custom business logic, little bit queries, and main Firebase will take care of all the things. And one of the best thing about Cloud Firestore is it will support offline. Like when you don't have a internet connections, you can still able to access the data with the help of Cloud Firestore. So I'll show you how we can use Cloud Firestore. So first, Cloud Firestore is just like as a MongoDB database, which is an example of NoSQL database. So here first we need to create a database reference. So we have created a database reference. For first we are using Firebase, so we have written Firebase, and then we are using Cloud Firestore. So we have a Firestore as a module or a method. So you can use this method. And then we need to define the collections. So here we can define db.collections, and then my collections name is user. And for adding a data into the Cloud Firestore, we need to use add method. And here inside add method, you can pass JavaScript object, and this query will work as a JavaScript promises. So you can handle with the help of then and catch block. And that's it. This is a simple logic for adding a data into the Cloud Firestore. And similarly, Firebase is providing a lightweight database, which is name is real-time database. So real-time database is a lightweight database than Cloud Firestore, and it is still offer many things like real-time syncing, offline support, scalabilities. You can use, it's totally up to you. If you are creating a lightweight applications, you can use real-time database, or if you want to create a complex or large-scale applications, then you can use Cloud Firestore. It's totally up to you. So this is an example for how we can add data into the real-time database. So let's create a variable. So my variable name is my name, and then we have a value name. So we can create a JavaScript object with the help of curly braces, and so we have a key value pair. So if I want to use real-time database, so first we need to write Firebase. Inside Firebase, we are using a real-time database, so that's why we have to write database as a method. And then we need to define the reference. So let's say my reference name is data, and inside we need to add a data, so we need to use set method. And then inside set method, you can pass the JavaScript object, and that's it. So this is how you can add a data into the real-time database. And the third one, like although the real-time database and the Cloud Firestore are great for storing primitive data in terms of textual data, but sometimes you need to store user-generated data. For example, media file, audio file, picture, PDF. So you can use cloud storage. Cloud storage as a service where you can directly upload image file, audio file, video file, any file, media file, storage. And cloud storage for Firebase, you can directly use these services, and you can trust on it because this is built on Google infrastructure. So it will automatically scale your applications, and they are providing a lot of security rules where you can apply the security related functionality. So this is an example like how we can use cloud storage. So first we need to create a database reference. So let's assume we have a database reference is DB reference. And for uploading a file into the cloud storage, we need to use put method. And inside put method, we need to pass the file, maybe audio file, video file, PDF file, text file, any other file. And this will work as a JavaScript promises, so we can handle with the help of that and catch block. So this is how we can use Firebase storage, images, audio, video file, media file, anything. And the next service is Firebase Hosting. So if you are a web developer, you have a website, so you can host your website with the help of Firebase Hosting. So Firebase Hosting is a fully managed hosting service where you can host your static website, or maybe you can also host your dynamic content if you are using cloud functions, which I'll talk about late upcoming in section. So Firebase Hosting is a service where we can deploy our website, we can run our website, we can host your website with the help of Firebase Hosting. So Firebase Hosting is a super fast services where you will get SSDs that will globally cache your data. So Firebase Hosting focus on static website provider, which is very fast, secure, and reliable. And you will get free SSL certificate with the help of Firebase Hosting. And you can deploy your website with the help of 3 commands. First, you need to initialize the project, and then you can use Firebase Server for checking the hosting in local machine, and then you can use Firebase Deploy, and that's it. So with the help of 3 commands, you can deploy your website. And the next one is Firebase Cloud Functions. So sometimes you need to write your custom business logic. Maybe you can write REST APIs, or you can write your custom business logic. So here we have a Firebase Cloud Functions. You can use Cloud Functions for writing your custom business logic. And one of the best thing about Firebase Cloud Function is it's low maintenance. You just need to focus on the code quality part, and then you can deploy it on the Google server, and they will manage. No need to manage at developer end. And you can keep your logic private and secure because you can trust on Google. And the next one part is you can write your cloud functions with the help of JavaScript, or you can use TypeScript, or you can use Node.js. And this is a serverless architecture where you don't need to manage the infrastructure. Like you can write your custom business logic with the help of Firebase Cloud Functions. And the next one part is like we have a Firebase extensions. So we have a Firebase extension is a pre-packaged Firebase functions like cloud functions. So here we have a image resizer, or maybe translate text, or sync with email champ. This is a pre-packaged cloud functions that you can use inside Firebase extension. And the next one part is Firebase Cloud Messaging. This is one of the best thing about Firebase. Like you can send push notifications to the user with the help of Firebase Cloud Messaging. And you can send a data or message to the Android device, iOS device, or maybe web device, those who have subscribed for the notifications. And they are providing a functionalities like you can send notifications to the individual devices, or maybe you can use group of devices for sending a notifications. And one of the best thing about Firebase Cloud Messaging is this is totally free service. And if I talk about in summary, so if you are building a web applications with the help of Firebase, you can use Firebase Authentication. With the help of Firebase Authentication, you can authenticate your user with the help of authentication as a service, or you can use Firebase database. So here we have a 2 database, Cloud Firestore and the real-time database. And the third one part is if you have a media file, so you can directly upload your media file with the help of cloud storage. Or if you want to host your website, you can use Firebase Hosting. Or if you want to write your custom business logic, you can use Firebase Cloud Functions. Or there are predefined some cloud functions under Firebase extension that you can use. And the last one is Firebase Cloud Messaging. You can use Firebase Cloud Messaging for sending a push notifications to the users. So this is a package for the web developer, and you can create anything with the help of Firebase. So let's assume an example like you are working on maybe campus club, and you want to create an event registration page with the help of Firebase. So first, we can create a HTML page with the help of HTML as a language. We can design the page, and we can add a functionality about validations with the help of JavaScript. So you have created a registration page with the help of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And then you can add functionalities like Firebase Authentications. Like you can use authenticate your user with Google account. Like first, user need to authenticate with Google account, and then they will be able to see the registration page and then fill the registration page for the event. And then after user authentications, user can see the registration page, and then once the user will fill the registration form and click on the submit button, you can store the data into the cloud Firestore. Once the user data will be stored into the cloud Firestore, you can write your custom business logic for sending a confirmation mail. Let's say, thank you so much for showing your interest at XYZ event. So you can write custom business logic with the help of cloud functions, and then you can host your entire logic with the help of Firebase Hosting. And that's it. So this is the simplest example, like how we can use Firebase for universities, maybe clubs, and yeah, that's it. So if you have any questions, you can ask your questions right now. And then trust me, Firebase is one of the best thing for the developers. You just need to focus on the front end part, and they are providing a lot of backend services. You just need to use those services. And to know more about Firebase, you can check out the website firebase.google.com, and here you can get the documentation about Firebase. So I'll show you, I will create a simple application with the help of Firebase. Maybe it's a kind of anonymous thoughts. Here you can share your anonymous thoughts with the help of Firebase. So I'll share my done screen and then show you. Okay, so I hope my screen is visible. Yeah. So this is the website for the Firebase. You can check out the website firebase.google.com, and here we have a website. And here you can go to the console in the right top. So here we have a button for the console, and this is a Firebase console. So here you can create an add project, click on add project, and here you can create a project. So let's say I want to create a project, so SLIIT. So this is my project name, and here you can click on continue button. And this one is for the analytics, like you can get the user informations about the country locations. You can get the analytics report. So right now we are not using Google Analytics, so I'll just disable this one and then click on create project. And till that time, you need to install Node.js in your system. So you can open a website, nodejs.org, and here you can download Node.js in your system. And then after downloading a Node.js, you just need to install Firebase Cli. Search Firebase Cli. Here we have a command how we can install Firebase Cli. So this is a command npm install -g Firebase Cli. So first you need to create a project with the help of Firebase console, and then you need to install Node.js in your system, and then you need to install Firebase Cli. Okay. Now my project is ready. I'll click on continue button, and this is my project console. Okay, so as I mentioned, like we have 3 services, so we can create a better application with the help of authentications, database. We have Firebase Firestore, or maybe real-time database, or you can use storage services where you can upload the image, audio file, media file, or you can use hosting as a service where you can host your website. And then if you want to write your custom business logic, you can use Firebase functions, cloud functions. Or if you're working on machine learning, so they are providing a pre-built machine learning models, pre-trained, or you can create your own machine learning model with the help of Firebase machine learning as a service. And then we have a cluster analytics, performance monitoring, test labs, app distribution. This one is for the analytics. And then we have engagement. So it's related to predictions, A/B testing, cloud messaging for sending a push notifications, remote config, dynamic links, add mobs. These all are the services. So what I'll do first step is done. We have created a project on Firebase, and then we have installed Node.js in my system, and then I can install Firebase CLI. So what I'll do here, I'll just go to the PowerShell. This is my PowerShell. Okay, so this is my PowerShell. Here we can type the command npm install -g Firebase tools. So with the help of this command, after installing Node.js, you can install Firebase CLI. So I have already installed Firebase CLI in my system. What I'll do in the desktop, here I will create a folder. So let's say this folder is related to Firebase. So I'll type my folder name is Firebase. Okay, so I can open this folder with the help of VS Code editor. You can use any other code editor. It's totally up to you. So this is an ID for web related things you can use. So this is my VS Code editor. Here we have a workspace Firebase, and then here we can go to the terminal. So here we have a terminal. Okay. Now, first we need to log in with our Firebase CLI. So first we need to write a command here, Firebase login, for login authenticating my Google account with Firebase CLI. So first you need to type Firebase login and then click on yes, and then it will be redirect to the screen. So I'll just using this tab account. Okay. So it will be redirect to the Google account, and then we need to give the permissions like my Firebase CLI can access the project of my Google account. Okay, so I have already logged in with my Firebase CLI with this email ID. Okay, now once I type once again like Firebase login, so here we can get the same email ID like you are already logged in with Gmail ID. Okay, now what I'll do here, I will create a project, or I will initialize the project with the help of Firebase CLI. You just need to use Firebase init for initializing the Firebase project. So I'll type Firebase init and then press enter. So it will ask, are you ready to proceed? Yes, I'm ready to proceed. So as I mentioned, like Firebase is providing a lot of services. So first I will explore how we can host our website on Firebase. So I'll select hosting as a service and then press enter. Okay, and this will ask like you can select your project. So you can use existing project or you can create your new project. So I have already created a project, name is SLIIT. So I'll just go to the existing applications, existing project, and then here we just type this is my project name. Here it will ask for the public directory. This is a directory where you can upload your HTML, CSS, JavaScript code, and that will deploy onto the website. So here you can type public as a directory name, or you can mention any directory name. It's totally up to you. So this is a public directory, and this will ask for the single page applications. Like if you are working on React, Vue, or Angular, type yes. But right now we are not creating a single page application, so I'll type no. And then it will ask for CI/CD related stuff like continuous integrations and deployments related. So we are not using CI/CD stuff, so I'll just type and then press enter. Okay, so now my by default simple project is ready. Here we have a public directory. Inside public directory we have a file index.html, and then we have a file 404.html. So this is the by default file, and then we have a Firebase src file. This is a related configuration file, and then we have a git ignore, which we can use for the open source. Once we are adding our project into the GitHub repository, here we can mention the file name which I don't want to push. Okay, and then we have a Firebase JSON file. So here we have a configuration stuffs for the Firebase hosting. Now I want to check how my website it will look like. So here we just need to type Firebase serve. So here you will get the local URL, and here you can check the local version of your website. So here we have a URL localhost 5000. Open this URL localhost 5000 in your web browser, and then you can see the website. Okay, so this is my website, and this website is working from this particular directory. So this is a directory name, public. So here we have a file index.html, and this is a by default code. What I'll do here, I will remove all the code from index.html, and I will write custom HTML logic. So here we have HTML5, and here we can write h1 tag, and then here we'll write SL. Okay, and then I will go to the browser and then reload the page. This is working. Okay, so what I'll do here, we will write welcome to Firebase. Okay, so I will save, I will reload the page. This is working. Okay, so we have created a file index.html, and then we have a 404.html, which is a by default file. So now I'm just testing my website in my local machine. I want to deploy my website. So what I'll do here, I can close this process, and then we need to deploy our website. We just need to use this command Firebase Deploy. So with the help of Firebase Deploy as a command, you can deploy your website into the Firebase. This deployment process is starting, and this will here we have two files found inside public directory, and then these files will be uploaded into the Firebase server, and then here we have a hosting URL. So you can open this hosting URL, and this is a hosted website. So this is how you can host your website. You just need to change your code, and then here, let's say I'll define paragraph, and then we can write Laura Lipson. So I want to, I have changed in index.html file. So I just, again, we need to deploy the website. So I'll click on Firebase Deploy, and then it will deploy my website. Okay, so my website is deployed, and yeah, so this is our deployment URL. So I'll just reload the page, and this is how we can host your website. So every time if you are changing something inside public directory, you need to use the command Firebase Deploy for updating the website or deploying the website. Now I'll show you how we can create a share your thought type of application, where we can use Cloud Firestore as a database, where any user come into your website and can share anonymous feedback. So here, what I'll do here in the index.html, here we can create input area. So I'll create input box, input type is equal to text, and I will use Firebase serve for serving a web page over the local machine. So this is a text area. Here we have a placeholder. So here we have a placeholder enter message. And then we have a button. When the user will click on the button, so let's say share button. So we need to store the data into the Cloud Firestore. So I'll just reload the page, and here we have a UI. Okay. So this is an anonymous feedback sharing web applications. So here user can share the message and then click on share button, and then we will store the data into the Cloud Firestore. So this is the Cloud Firestore section. So I'll go to the Firestore section, database. Okay, and then click on create database. So I'll click on create database, and this will ask two things. Like first, either you can go for production mode or you can use test mode. So right now we are creating an application. So we'll select test mode and then click on next button. And then here you can select the reason. So you can, it's totally up to you. You can select any of the reasons, and then I'll click on enable button. So my Cloud Firestore is going to be a deploy, and then it will create a sample database. Okay, so till that time, I'll write a functionality for the JavaScript part, like we have a console. So once the user will add a message here, when we click on this particular button, we will get the data. So here we can write a logic. So what I'll do here in the public directory, we will create a file name is app.js, or you can write your custom JavaScript logic here itself. So here we have a JavaScript file, script tag. Okay, so here we can define the ID. So let's say my ID is a VPN, and this is a ID is text field, ID is message. So we can add a functionality like when we click on the button whose ID is btn. So here we can write document.getElement by ID. So I have a HTML document. I'm collecting the document ID whose ID is btn. And then we can perform actions with the help of add event listener. Here we can pass the two things. First is name of your actions, and then we have a function's name. My function's name is add data. Okay, so I'll define a function's name. My function's name is add data. Okay, so here we can write console.log, and here you can write hello. Okay, so I will save and I will reload the page when we click on this particular button. So my button is working. Now we can get the data from this particular input field with the help of ID is message. So here we can write let name is equal to, here you can write document.getElement by ID. Here you can pass a message and you can get the value. Okay, and you can print that value here in name field. I will save and I will reload the page. So for example, I will add my name Vrijraj and then we'll click on save button, share button. So here we are getting this data. Okay, so now my Cloud Firestore is ready. So this is my Cloud Firestore as a database. It's a NoSQL database. Here we can create a collections. So this is a button for start creating a collection. So let's say I'll create a collections name is users. So inside collections, we can create a documents. This is a structure for NoSQL database. So let's define a document whose document ID is this one. Here inside document, we can create a field. Let's say this one is user1. Okay, name of your user is user1. So here we have a collections name is user. Inside we have one document, and inside this document we have a data as a field name is equal to user1. And here you can create an n number of documents. Let's say I'll define another document name, and this one is name user2. Okay. Here we have a two documents. So this is how we can create a collections. Inside collections, we can have a multiple document, and each document can have a multiple fields, or you can create a sub collections inside the documents. It's totally up to you. So what I'll do, I want to use that functionality in my web applications. So I'll just go to the project overview section, and then here I will click on add applications. Okay, so here we have a section for add app. So right now we are working on web technology. So I'll select on web. I'll click on web, and here we can define the nickname of my applications. So I'll define the nickname of my application, this one, for example. So I'll select register app. I'll click on register app, and here we will get some CDN file. So this is a library CDN file. I'll just copy this file and I will paste before the script tag we have written. Okay, so what I'll do here, we will cut this logic. We can remove this script tag, and then we can pass here this logic. Okay, so I will format this document. So what I did, I just go to the project overview. I'll click on add app, and then we have a web applications, and inside web application here we will get this data CDN. This is a JavaScript library for the Firebase. So with the help of these library, you can connect your Firebase library with the help of this website. Okay, so we have a API keys, and here we have a JavaScript library for the Firebase. Now Firebase is providing a separate JavaScript library for each services. So here in the comment sections, like add SDK for Firebase product that you want to use. So here is a link. So I'll just copy this link. I'll just go to the UI browser and then click paste that URL. And then we have available libraries. So right now we are using Cloud Firestore as a database. So we have available libraries from CDN, and then we are using Cloud Firestore. So this is a library. So I'll just copy this library for Cloud Firestore, and I will go copy this library and I will paste that library after Firebase core JavaScript library. Okay. So first we have imported, this is the main JavaScript library for the Firebase, and this is a JavaScript library for the Firebase cloud storage. sorry, Cloud Firestore. Okay, and this is a configuration file which I got from initializing the Firebase applications, and then here they are defining initializing the Firebase applications. Okay, so here we can write a logic for adding a data into the Cloud Firestore. So this is the functions where we are getting add data, calling this data. Okay, so first we are using Firebase, so that's why we need to write Firebase. Inside Firebase, we are using Firestore. Firestore is a database or NoSQL database inside which collections we want to store the data. So let's say I want to store the data into the data as a collections name, and then we need to add a data. So here you can use add method. Okay, inside add method you can create a JavaScript. You can pass the JavaScript object. So let's define a JavaScript object data to add. So I can create a JavaScript object with the help of curly braces. Here we can define name. Is this one is name. So this is, let's say, a message from input. And then here we can write message from input, and then you can create a normal JavaScript object. So here we have a key value pair, and you can add this JavaScript object inside add method, and this will work as a JavaScript promises. So either this promise will resolve or reject. So we can, if you can assume like this JavaScript promises will work. So this will give you the document. So here we will get the document, and here we can print console.log, and we are getting that document. So here we can print the document ID. So document ID is this one. This is a random ID. So once the data will be created in the Firestore, so here we will get the UID or document ID, and here we are getting this document ID. Or if the promises will reject, so we can handle with the help of catch block. So here we have a catch block. Here we'll get the error, and here we can print the error. That's it. Okay, so what I'll do here, we can write alert box, let's say data edit, and I will save and I will reload the page here. Okay, so let's say I'll just type test and then click on share button, and then after a few seconds there will be a pop-up data edit, and this is a document ID. So what I'll do here, we'll go to the Cloud Firestore, and then we can reload the page, or maybe you can navigate to the another tabs, and then we have a collections, which is a collections name is data, which we have defined here as a collections as a data. Okay, inside collections we have created a document. This is a random document ID, and then we have a field message is equal to text. Okay, let's pass another message Vrijraj, and then click on save button, data edit, and then we can have inside data as a collections we have a two document. So first document having a message as is equal to Vrijraj, and second is for test. So this is how we can create an anonymous feedback applications where we can share this URL to the user. User can add a data and then click on share button. And similarly, you can create a separate page for the dashboard. So if you want to create a page for the dashboard, so let's create a page dashboard.html. Here we have a dashboard.html, and here I will copy the entire logic from index.html. I will paste it here. Okay, so I'll just go to the slash dashboard.html. Okay, so this is the dashboard.html. The content is same. So here we can write dashboard. I will save and then I will reload. This is a dashboard, and here we can print the data in terms of tabular format. So here what I'll do here, I will remove the entire some logic from the HTML content. Okay, so now we can remove these functions for adding a data into the Cloud Firestore. So I will remove these functions. I will remove this logic again. Okay, now we can create a table. So here I can print the data in terms of tabular format. So here we can create a table row, and then we have a table column. So this column is for hash, maybe you can add a hash, or here we have a message. Okay, and then what I'll do here, you can wrap with table head. So here we have a table head, and then we can create a table body, and table body stand for, here we can provide a table rows which will be dynamic. So here we can define id as a row result. So what I do here, we can create a logic for getting a data from Firebase. So here first we need to write Firebase because we are using Firebase. Inside Firebase we are using Firestore, so we have to write Firestore. And then from which collections you want to read the data. So my collection's name is data. So inside small brackets, small quotes, you can use this one. For getting a data from the Firebase, you just need to use get method. Okay, and this will work as a JavaScript promises. So if the promises will handle, so here we will get the list of documents. Else we are getting the error, we will get the error. So here you can handle the error with the help of catch log, and you can print the error console.log. Okay, now here you are getting a list of documents. So here you can apply for each method. So here we can write for each, and this will give you one by one document. Okay, so whenever we are running this query, this will give me the list of documents. These all are the list of documents, and applying for each method. So with the help of for each method, I'm getting one by one document. So here what I'll do here, let's create array. Let's say my array name is messages. Right now this one is blank, and whenever we are getting the data from the document, so we will pass the data from this particular array. Okay, so here we will write push method, or here you can write doc.data dot message. Okay, so we have a document. Inside document we want to access the data, so we need to use data method, and inside data we want to access this message field. So that's why we have written message, and we will store this message as a data into the messages array. Okay, so we have a array of data, and now we can write a logic. Let's say we have a messages. Here we can write a map functions. Here we will get the message, and then here we can write a logic for printing a data. So let's say document.getElement by id. id is res dot inner html you can use, and then here you can use the concept of multi-len string. So we have a template literals, so here you can use this simple. Okay, so here you can create a rows. So I'll create a row, let's say tr, and we will close the row, and then we can define the column. So this column is for the hash, maybe 1 2 3, and second column is for the message. So here we can print the message. So here you can print the message with the help of symbol curly braces message. Okay, and that's it. Or if you want to add a hash, so right now I'm just adding just hash as a symbol. So I will save and I will reload the page. And after a few seconds, here we are getting the data. So here we have a data. Now it will concatenate, so it will override the data. So here we need to use plus symbol, and that's it. So I will reload the page. Right now we have a two data, and then here you can apply the border property attribute. So let's define the border of the table. So right now we have a two data. So what I'll do here, I'll just go to the main page, normal page, and here let's define another data tag format, and then click on share button. Data is added. I will reload the page, and here we have a tag format. So this is a dashboard, and this is a main application for the user, where user can share their anonymous feedback to you, and then here you can check out the feedback. So this is how you can create a simple applications. So we have created this simple applications. Now we want to deploy this website. So I'll shut down this process, and then we need to use Firebase Deploy as a command. And that's it. So with the help of Firebase Deploy, you can deploy your website. Okay, so my website is deployed, so we can check out the main website. So my main website is URL is this one. So I'll just click on this URL and just reload the page once again. So here we have a live URL, or you can check out the hosting section. So here we have a hosting sections, and then here we have a website name, and you can also connect your website domain. So you just need to type domain name. Here you will get the a record. You just need to add a record into the domain name provider. Let's say GoDaddy or any other service provider. You just need to add a record txt code, and then you can connect your domain. And this is a by default domain given by the Firebase, and here we have a deployment history. And this is how you can use Firebase. So I have also created a repository for the Firebase for web app. So here we have a documentations like if you want to use Firebase or storage Cloud Firestore. So here we have a documentation like if you want to add a data into the Cloud Firestore. So here we have used Firebase Firestore. So you can also refer this document. So what I'll do here. So this is about the demo part. I will share my screen slide. Okay, so here we have informations like you can also check out the Firebase documentations to use any other services, like if you want to use cloud storage in your web applications to upload image file, audio file, media file, you can use follow the documentation. Also, the Firebase team has created code labs for the web developers. You can also check out the code labs bit.ly/code labs 101. And I have also written articles on Firebase. You can also check out the articles on Firebase. And then I have also created the YouTube channel where I have created a videos on Firebase, like how we can authenticate the user with the help of Google account, maybe Twitter account, or custom email address, how we can use storage service, how we can use real-time database. You can check out those videos on YouTube channel. And yeah, here we have informations, or you can check out the YouTube channel name is Tech Ferment. Any questions, you can ask your questions right now. I'm open for the questions.
Yep. Hi. I think the questions were asked on the YouTube live stream, so let me go through them. Yeah. Are you cool with that?
Yeah.
All right. So I think we go from reverse order. So I think one of the questions asked was how to have multiple user access levels in Firebase Auth.
Okay, so you can use any, like there is no limit, but if you are using free accounts, so there is a 100 user in a limit, 100 user in an hour, you can authenticate your applications. But if you are using premium account, maybe Blaze plan, so you can use, you can increase your limit. It's totally up to you.
All right, thanks for that. Another question asked was, do we have to learn Node.js to use Firebase?
Okay, it's totally up to you. Like if you want to write your custom business logic, like if you want to add a logic for sending emails or maybe sending a push notifications based on schedule, so you can go for the cloud functions where you can implement the Node.js. So Node.js is something is just like as a it's a program like initially JavaScript is developed for the client side, like where we can run our JavaScript code on the browser end. But if you want to run your JavaScript code without browser, you just need to use Node.js, and that's it. Node.js is nothing. There we have only Node modules. So you just need to focus on the modules, how we can create a modules, and that's it. So yeah.
All right, thanks for that. There's another question regarding the difference between Firestore and real-time databases.
Okay, so like if you are creating a large-scale applications where we can create a complex queries, we can write a complex logic. So I'll suggest you to go for the Cloud Firestore, because we have a collections, documents, and then inside documents we can create a sub-collections. Inside sub-collections you can create a sub-documents. So this is how we can create a complex structure of your web applications. But if you are creating a lightweight applications, let's say if I want to add a features, like whenever you are using Google Docs, so inside Google Docs, here we are getting a notifications like X user is also right now in this particular doc. So here you will get the real time syncing, like X is live in this particular docs, Y is also live. So you can use this type of simple logic for real time database. But if you are creating a large scale applications, complex applications where you need to write a custom business logic, I suggest you to go for the cloud file Firebase Cloud Firestore. And like it's a part of NoSQL database, but a real-time database, it's a tree-like structure. We can store the data as a JSON file.
All right, thanks for that. I think the earlier question or the first question I asked was rephrased again by the author. They rephrased it to how to have multiple use access levels in Firebase auth, like admin or editor and stuff like that.
Okay, like if you are a project owner, so we have a three axis. Like first one is you can provide ownership to the another user, or you can use an editor as a actions, like where as a developer can use that services. You can edit the data inside Firebase project, and then we have a third axis is for the viewers, like where only developer can see the data into the hosting part, see the data from in the storage part or maybe database part. So we have a three axis: owner, editor, and the viewers. Editor can edit the data, viewers can only view the data, and owners is just like as a super admin.
All right. I think the last question was, can we host a dynamic website? I think we can. That's what I've watched.
Yeah.
You want to confirm that?
Yeah, you can host your dynamic website. Like if you are using server-side rendering concept, like if you are creating application with the help of, if you have created application with the help of Nuxt.js or maybe Next.js, so you can server-side render with the help of Cloud Functions. Or if you have a static website, you can directly use Firebase hosting. But if you have created server-side rendering, so you can use Cloud Functions.
All right. I think that's about it for when it comes to questions. And then, nope.
I have one question.
Ask any more questions?
Yeah.
Yep. Go ahead.
It's regarding these Firebase machine learning stuff. Let's say I have enough data on my Firebase cloud store or something. So can I use this data to make some predictions in the cloud itself?
Yeah, you can do that. There is providing a lot of services. Like there is extensions where you can export that particular data from the database or machine learning model into the Google Sheet, and then you can apply machine learning models, or you can use Google Data Studio where you can get the predictions related chart modules. You can use anything. Like you just need to export that data into the Google Data Studio, and then you can perform any operations.
Okay, so, thank you. And one more thing, like let's say I have my own model in H5 format. Can I embed that model into this machine learning studio?
I don't know exactly in depth in the machine learning stuffs, but yeah, maybe you can check out the documentations.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah, because I'm not more into the Python field. Like I've just used machine learning model for the JavaScript. So there's a JavaScript library, TensorFlow.js. Here, with the help of JavaScript, you can create a models machine learning.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, I think that's about it for when it comes to questions. Again, on behalf of the sliitfoss community, Vrijraj, we are again forever indebted for the session that you've done for us today. It's not that a lot of people wouldn't really want to take all this time and explain certain concepts in such detail as you have done. And again, we are eternally grateful for what you've done today. On behalf of the sliitfoss community and also on our live streamers, we had quite a big audience today as well. But yes, thank you again for showing up, and thank you for the stream, for engaging with the discussion, asking questions and such. But yeah, that's about it. Thank you and good night, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, Sas, and thank you, Ahmed, for inviting me. And yeah, have a nice day. Good night.
Night.